all of you here. Barbara, we all know Weiss had already been looking into Hunter Biden, but as special counsel, how does that change the game? And does it surprise you at all, given the fact that he was part of this plea deal that fell through, that he would be the one that would get the nod as special counsel?
Well, it doesn't surprise me that he would get the nod, but it does surprise me that he's asked for special counsel status. I think when they had the plea deal that didn't go through, it seemed that they were resolving the case, although David Weiss has always said that the investigation is ongoing. And so the timing of it seems a little odd to me, but Merrick Garland, true to his word, has always said that David Weiss has sole authority to decide this case, and he asked for special counsel status, which means he can now pursue charges in other districts beyond Delaware.
Fair to say, maybe a big understatement, this is a bad day for Hunter Biden.
Yes, I think so. It suggests that certainly the tax charges and the gun charge is not going to be the end of it, that David Weiss is. Now, it doesn't mean he's definitely going to file charges, but it means he wants to use a grand jury in some district other than Delaware. And so it's difficult to speculate as to what those additional crimes might be, but they seem certainly to exceed the scope of what he had planned to plead guilty to just a few weeks ago.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about some fascinating politics that is going on with this Hunter Biden story. A story that has taken so many twists and turns. It's really hard to keep up with, okay? I mean, the guy is really all over the place, right? And what we have now is Hunter Biden now under special counsel investigation following his sweetheart plea deal falling apart with federal prosecutors, okay? Federal prosecutors led by David Weiss, who just so happened to be appointed as the special counsel that will investigate Hunter Biden. Now, you had MSNBC, like I just played you guys at the beginning of this clip, pretending that this is bad news for Hunter, right? This is bad news for Hunter, okay? This is going to go to trial, okay? And this is bad news for Hunter, okay? Doing exactly what the Democrats and the Biden administration want them to do, which is to pretend that this is a real investigation, that they're actually trying to punish Hunter Biden after it was clear, right, that they're not, okay? Evidenced by the fact that we had whistleblowers come out here and talk about how the DOJ and the IRS were colluding to basically bring soft charges against Hunter Biden when it comes to tax crimes and his gun charges, crimes, specifically we're talking about taxes, that would have sent people like Wesley Snipes to prison for years, right? Hunter Biden gets a slap on the wrist, right? No jail time, nothing like that, because he's the president's son, okay? You also had the plea deal fall apart because the judge called out the fact that the plea deal was basically a sweetheart deal that it seemed could possibly, like, low-key get Hunter Biden off on future crimes or allegations against him. And Hunter Biden thought that that's the deal that he was getting. And when it got called out in court, the DOJ got caught with their pants down in a situation where they didn't want to admit out loud that, hey, we are actually investigating Hunter Biden for other things. And so it seems they led Hunter Biden to believe that he would be immune from facing any type of future punishment for, again, you know, crimes that he committed, aka crimes under the Foreign Agents Act or law, okay, in which, you know, Hunter Biden failed to register as a foreign agent while selling out the American people using his father overseas, right? Which is, you know, something that he definitely should be charged with, okay? And they had to admit in court that, hey, you're under investigation for that. But again, they seemed to have led Hunter Biden on to believe that he would be immune to facing any type of future charges or prosecution for that, right? So the sweetheart deal fell apart, okay, because it got called out in court. It got exposed. Okay, however, you got people like Reid coming out here and making the argument in a fake meltdown that somehow, some way, Hunter Biden is being treated so badly, right? In fact, she's arguing that he's been treated worse than Trump. This is probably Joy Reid's dumbest argument of 2023, and that is really saying a lot for Joy Reid, who routinely makes dumb and stupid arguments throughout her career. Take a look.
So, I mean, in other words, he's being treated differently because he's Joe Biden's son. I want to read this little piece here. The particular gun charge that the feds brought against Joe Biden, this is from the Daily Beast, a drug user in possession of a firearm, is rarely brought as a standalone crime, especially now that roughly a fifth of the country uses cannabis, with an inevitably significant overlap with the nation's estimated 80 million gun owners. There's more than that, I think. When the feds do bring this type of case, they come down hard, but it's usually a tool they use to take down tough-to-arrest criminals, like militant white nationalists, Islamist terrorists, or narco traffickers. I think all the evidence that I've seen so far in this case is that Hunter Biden, he could be a terrible guy, I don't know, never met him, is being treated worse than anyone else would be. He's being treated worse the way Donald Trump claims he's being treated worse, but he actually is. Because normally this would just be misdemeanor stuff that would be done with. Instead, he's endlessly investigated because of politics. That's my perception.
Well,
what's yours?
Yeah, well, I think with respect to the gun charge, which I don't expect that we'll see again, because we now have a ruling from one of the circuits that particular offense violates the Second Amendment after the Supreme Court's ruling last year in a different case, a Second Amendment case. So I don't think we're going to see that reappear. But to your point, that charge was part of a negotiated plea agreement. And so, there's lots of factors that go into that. There's a give and take from both sides. It was something that was subject to a diversion agreement, which means if he complies with certain requirements for the period of 2 years, I think it was 2 years in that agreement, there would be no charge. So,
Right.
I'm not going to say that I think he's treated totally differently because of that. I will say, though, that the very fact that David Weiss was still even the prosecutor, forget the special counsel appointment today, even before that, he was a holdover Trump-appointed U.S. attorney. Normally, all of the president's U.S. attorneys resign on January 20th when a new administration comes in. So already there was some special treatment here or different treatment here, and it was all, I think, for political purposes. So it would not appear that the Department of Justice was going to replace, a Republican-appointed prosecutor who's investigating the president's son. So politics are definitely a part of this, but that's, I think, why the Attorney General said it's in the public interest to do this.
Yeah, so this statement from Joy Reid that Hunter Biden is being treated worse than Donald Trump is just laughable on his face, right? For so many reasons, okay? One of the reasons having to do with something that I mentioned before I played the clip, which is the fact that Hunter Biden has not been charged yet or prosecuted yet under the FARA Act or the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which, thanks to the Democrats, is actually now a relevant statute because before the Trump era, right, before the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, the DOJ rarely bought prosecutions against people for violating this statute. However, thanks to the Democrats and their Trump derangement syndrome, Robert Mueller, the guy that is responsible for the Mueller report and, again, investigating the non-existent Russia-Trump collusion, he went after Paul Manafort and Michael Flynn for taking money, acting as foreign agents, okay, with foreign entities, right? That's how he nailed those guys, right? So again, Democrats was cheering on the use of prosecuting Trump allies under this statute, right? When Trump was under investigation, okay, and his allies were under investigation, they were totally fine with it, right? And it was used, okay? That's what Robert Mueller was using to go after Trump's allies. Now, all of a sudden, Joy Reid is trying to pretend like Hunter Biden somehow, some way is being treated differently, even though no charges have been brought against him yet in relation to that, even though there should be if we're going to have the same standard here. And the charges that he is facing right now, again, are sweetheart charges, right? He got a sweetheart deal because of alleged collusion between the DOJ and the IRS to basically, not give him tough tax charges that, again, would have sent somebody like Wesley Snipes to prison for years, which, again, is surprising to me because Joy Reid usually plays the race card here, right? She usually argues that straight white men or alleged straight white men like Hunter Biden, they get off easy, right, compared to black folks, right? Again, that's the argument that she would usually make. But again, because Joe Biden's her real daddy, right, because she secretly loves the liberal white man, Joe, okay, she cares about him more than she cares about the race hustle, right? She's out here defending his straight white male son, okay, pretending that he's somehow, some way being treated differently or being treated in a way that's tougher than the way they're going after Trump. Again, it's just ridiculous on his face, okay? Especially considering the fact that, again, Trump is facing a ton of prosecutions and charges, indictments that he otherwise, wouldn't be getting if he was, for example, somebody like Joe Biden, who it just so happens probably won't be actually facing any indictments in regards to his classified documents case. And if he does, it will probably be after the election, when, hey, it can't actually affect the outcome of the election, okay? But regardless, what's really going on here, okay, that, Joy Reid is pretending that she doesn't know about or she doesn't understand, is that there is obstruction going on here from the DOJ, or at the very least, that's what Republicans are arguing. They're arguing that the DOJ is trying to obstruct in the Republicans' investigation of Hunter/Joe Biden because allegedly, according to James Comer, they're getting close. They're getting close to the smoking gun, aka the bank statements of Joe Biden, showing that he personally took money due to Hunter Biden's business deals. And the DOJ is trying to get in the middle of interviewing the relevant suspects and the relevant people in regards to actually getting the information that they need to finally nail Joe Biden with the smoking gun. Take a look.
Chairman, did it blow you away as much as it blew me away when Merrick Garland stood in front of the American people and said, well, this prosecutor said he wanted to be the special counsel, so I named him the special counsel?
I mean, what a joke. What a joke. I mean, I about fainted when I got a text. I was in Princeton, Kentucky when I got the text. I mean, this is an attorney general who has lost the confidence of the American people. He has done more to damage our justice system than any human being in recent memory. And here we on the Oversight Committee, for all practical purposes, have been the special counsel for the past 6 months. We've produced more evidence than anyone that's supposedly investigating this criminal activity by the Biden family. And right as we get to the point to where we've traced it to Joe Biden, and we're at a position where we can win in court to fight their attorneys and get their actual personal bank records, he comes out with this. This is another attempt to try to obstruct. They're going to try to use this in court when they say, no, we can't give the Oversight Committee our bank records because there's an ongoing investigation by David Weiss.
How obvious. They don't care. They don't. You know what it is, Congress? I hate to do this because it's the middle finger to the American people. It's literally going, I don't care what you think of what I'm about to do, but here it is, and they're giving it to us.
They think the American people are stupid. They think that the American people aren't paying attention to this because the mainstream media is not reporting it.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that, okay? The GOP is arguing that this is obstruction, more obstruction from the Biden administration, from the DOJ, while the mainstream liberal media and the White House are trying to act flabbergasted and surprised and upset that this special counsel was formed to investigate Hunter Biden. Now, you know that something sketchy is going on here, right? When even CNN is saying that, hey, this doesn't really make sense. And low-key, conservatives kind of got a point in regards to their arguments when it comes to the politics of this whole special counsel investigation into Hunter Biden and the timing of it. Take a look.
Again, they were not notified ahead of time of this action by the Justice Department. We have asked them for comment. They have not replied yet. But again, this is a White House that is facing increasing pressure when it comes to the president's son, Hunter Biden. Republicans have slammed the president over all of these legal proceedings, and also so much as flirted with a potential impeachment inquiry. Now, when that has come up, the White House stance has been that it is baseless, that the focus should be in Congress on the American people. But all of this to say that criticism is ramping up. This will likely fuel Republicans and what they have to say about Hunter Biden and these ongoing legal proceedings.
Okay, Priscilla, thank you so much. She says it could fuel the Republicans, but the other way to look at it is that it could keep Republicans at bay, because now that you do have a special counsel, which a lot of Republicans were calling for. A, and B, I can't remember if it was Paula or one of our other reporters, maybe you guys were making this point, that while the special counsel is doing his work, he's unlikely to talk to Congress, and it's unlikely for them to get the information that they're working.
Right, and that's what's so interesting is that prior to this announcement, the Justice Department was saying that Weiss was prepared to testify to Congress as early as September, as soon as they came back from their August recess. That the Justice Department said that they wanted to do that specifically because of the assertions that Republican lawmakers were making about his authority to conduct his wide investigation into Hunter Biden, and that he wanted to directly address that as soon as he could, assuming that they had a deal that would have gone forward with Hunter Biden's lawyers. That fell apart, but we were still expecting him to potentially testify to Congress when they came back. Now, as you said, Dana, that's probably not going to happen for quite some time as he has these new authorities.
What do you make of these Republican criticisms?
I think there are some legitimate questions about this whole situation. First of all, I do think it's fair to question why would U.S. Attorney Weiss be appointed the special counsel. Usually a special counsel is an outside attorney.
Right.
Now, it has happened before. Durham came from inside, and the Attorney General has the right to do that, but it is odd. Second of all, this plea deal was picked apart by the judge, so one could ask, why would you stick with the U.S. Attorney if this was a failure, a colossal failure? The two sides had not even agreed upon what was in that plea deal. And then I think there are questions about whether or not it was harsh enough, this plea deal, whether or not it was strong enough. Beyond that, there are some other questions I have, which include the U.S. Attorney Weiss. He's now a special counsel. So one of the reasons to make him a special counsel, supposedly, is so that he has the ability to charge in other venues outside Delaware. But I believe he had previously argued publicly that he had the right to do whatever he wanted. And then the whistleblowers said, well, behind the scenes, Weiss was complaining he couldn't do that. He wasn't able to do that. And the Justice Department and Weiss denied what the whistleblowers were saying. But this move makes it seem as though, well, maybe the whistleblowers were right. Maybe what they were alleging is true, and he didn't have the ability to charge wherever he wanted to charge, and now he does. So I do have a lot of questions about that, and I do think some of the political questions being raised by Republicans have merit.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. Even CNN is saying this is sketchy, right? Even CNN saying that this could obstruct the Republicans' investigation. All I know is that Joy Reid is out of her mind if she thinks that they're treating Hunter Biden more harshly than they're treating Trump. Again, this woman is cool for Cocoa Puffs. She's off her rockers. And again, it's just amazing that this woman still has a job at MSNBC despite her failing ratings, right? With takes like this, again, it's no wonder that people don't watch her show. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.